Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 114. Sorry, I'm still on a delay from my vacation.
Are you boat lagged?
A little bit. I was talking to Ryan this morning. I was like, this is the last time I take a vacation where I don't give myself buffers. Because I went right from work to picking people up at the airport and bright and early getting up and going to the cruise, and then back taking people to the airport, and then back to work the next day. And I'm like, I need to give myself some buffer, some alone time after a vacation to just gather my thoughts.
Yeah, let me know how that works out.
Yeah.
I always plan to do that, and it never... Yeah. I mean, the schedule just never allows it. Plus, I'm like, I'm going away this weekend, and I'm like, when I come back, I could have taken a flight at like 7 a.m., but I'm like, I'll be in New York City, so maybe I'll get up and I'll have brunch somewhere, and then so I took a late flight, so now I don't get back until like 11 Sunday night, and then I got to come into work in the morning.
Right into work. Right into this podcast.
I know, and then we got to do the podcast anyway, so it's like,
good times.
We get to. Because it's just joyous. Do you want any facts about the number 114?
Oh, I did
episode 114?
I pulled a few 114s. I sure did. Okay, so the first thing I got is there is currently one person who is 114 years old and living on this planet, and her name is Marie Rose Teslay. She is French, and I'm sure she's a listener. So, hey, Marie Rose, happy 114th birthday.
Do you think she drives a Tesla?
No, I don't think she's driving much of anything these days.
I guess I didn't quite think that through.
But she will be...
How terrifying would that be if you knew you were driving on a highway next to somebody who's 114?
But she'll be 115 on May 21st. So
how old do you think she was when the family had to have the talk to take the keys away? 100, 110?
I'm curious who had the talk because both of her children are dead. And her husband died at the age of 40 back in 1944. And she never remarried. They're French, so I'm assuming it was World War II related.
Wow. I bet. Like, nobody wants to be the last one, right? To survive.
I do. I want to outlive all you.
All right. I wouldn't.
See how it ends.
Do you know, I was having this thought actually recently, like this morning or yesterday morning, with weird things I think about when I'm in the shower. Mm-hmm. And I was like who, if you get to the point where you can't take care of yourself, you can't do anything, and you're like, crapping yourself all the time and that kind of thing, who's going to take care of you? Like, if you're the last one, then who's going to do it? Then I had this like thought that I'm just going to die in a nursing home somewhere. That's like, if it still exists, is Medicare paid for? And, as I say in my favorite movie, Drop Dead Gorgeous, I'll be lucky to end up at some racing ranch where they flip you 3 times a week. Yeah.
You have a much more negative view of being old than I do. I'm like, it's going to be grand. There'll be plenty of people around.
Well, I mean, it will be.
Everyone's going to want to be around me.
It will be until... I was going to say, because you're so approachable. I was like, you know what? When you're shitting yourself, no one's approachable.
Well,
no one's
we hang out with
you.
Two very different crowds. Anyway, what other 114s do I have?
What else we got for the 114?
Let's see. For you bikers out there, 114, I guess, is and reach out and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know shit about my motorcycles. But 114 is a series of Harley Davidsons that all have 1868cc engines. It's the 114 series. So
I don't know what those words mean.
Enjoy your 114, biker boys.
You're just making up sounds now.
This one's my favorite. Samsung has a 114-inch class micro LED television that you can order for $150,000. However, you can't have it right now because they are out of stock.
I have a Samsung TV, not that one. But I'm just saying, Samsung, if you're listening and you throw a TV our way, we'll watch all of our shows on it and we'll talk about the quality.
I'm not sure where we could hang a 114-inch TV in here, but
I
maybe
didn't
this
say
back wall?
it wouldn't be here.
Oh, I gotta come to your house to watch them?
I don't think
No,
you'd have
thank
to.
you. I'll keep watching them on my phone on the toilet like I always do.
I don't think you have to come to my house to see it. You can
Oh,
just
no,
go
I'll
into your
just-
backyard
I'll
and
just
look
step
towards my
outside.
house if it's a huge screen.
But if
I have the
that's out
curved
of,
TVs. I'm obsessed with them.
if that's out of your price range, you can get the 101-inch for $130,000 or the little 90-inch for $110,000. But not right now because they're all out of stock. I don't
I'm
know
only
who
used
had
to-
the money to buy all of these or if they just made one each. But there you go.
I'm only used to paying for 8 or 9 inches.
Oh. And then the last one I have for you political junkies out there, Florida currently has Senate Bill 114, which is the insurance research bill, currently going through committee. It went into appropriations today.
What do they got to research? It's too high. Research done.
It's too damn high.
Lower it. Research done.
There you go. Better call Representative or Senator Trumbull and let him know that you already did the research.
Yeah, already done. You know what? I do the research every year when I get my bills that are too damn high.
So that's what I have for 114.
Well, I know that you've been waiting all week for my information on 114.
Thought of nothing else.
How about this? I'll give you the year and the director and what the movie was about, and then you tell me the name of the 114th greatest movie of all time.
All right. You give
It was
that to me.
directed by Mikhail Kalatozov.
Sure.
Russian movie. It's a Russian World War II movie made in 1957.
It was
I just had this vision that you got it right, and then I was like, what?
We won World War II and now we have half of Germany. Yay. That's the title.
I get that was your title, but was that a Russian accent? The cranes are flying.
Yes.
Yeah, classic.
That's what it was.
Classic. Now, you might know this director. I'll give you some hints. Well, I don't recognize one movie that he's directed, so maybe I'll give you the movies, and
Sure.
then you can tell me. But he's a journalist and a director and a
good
writer.
for him. That was once my dream, and then COVID smashed it.
I thought maybe it was. I thought when
Yeah.
I was reading this, I was like, I bet that's what Jeremy would like.
Yeah.
He is the director of such classics as Shock Corridor,
Yeah.
The Steel Helmet.
No.
I don't think it's helmet. It's helmet.
No.
Pick Up on South Street.
Yeah. Pick Up on South Street. That's
The
a
way
good
you
one.
just said helmet made me so happy. Hell and High Water.
Hell and High Water. That's a classic.
Yeah. So you're familiar then with
I have no idea of any of the
Samuel
movies you
Fuller.
said.
Samuel Fuller.
Um,
Good for you. 114th
Fuller.
greatest director of all time.
Samuel Fuller. Why does that name sound familiar? I'm gonna figure it out. That sounds very familiar.
Didn't we have I won't I mean I'm not gonna say like the whole name here, but it sounds like that is the name. Remember we used to have a freelancer out of Tampa Bay who moved.
Oh yes,
He was a straight guy that moved.
I do
He
recall.
called downtown St. Pete a food desert. Not downtown. It was more like where the offices are.
Yeah.
And offended the person in the building because they were like,
There's plenty of food.
there is. So I don't know why he
Not
said
according to
that.
Samuel. I bet he's a journalist director and he's gonna make a movie about that.
Called
Food desert.
Hell and High
a St.
Food
Pete
Desert.
story. All right. Well, I will look into his films since he was a journalist.
Yeah.
He's
yeah.
my people.
I mean, I know another journalist that made a movie.
Do you?
Yeah.
Was it any good?
Remember we covered it. She was an executive producer on it. Remember what was it? Remember Tracy from Chicago? What was the movie?
That was the Ebenezer Scrooge
Oh,
movie.
yes. What was it
You're
called?
using the term director very loosely. No, I'm just kidding. It was actually, I enjoyed it. I believe I enjoyed it more than you did. Maybe. I don't recall. Listen, I drank a lot of wine between that episode and this one.
Yeah, I think you did.
I like cheesier stuff than you do, though.
It don't go down easy if it ain't cheesy.
That's true. That's true.
So she says, do you watch those TikToks? She's like, everybody's so creative. And then she goes through a recipe and yells, it ain't.
Yes. She's
It don't
the
go down easy
everybody's
if
so
it ain't
creative
cheesy.
lady.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I've gotten in a habit of watching recently? These videos. I'm obsessed. I don't know what it is. And it's not, so let me try to describe this.
Go on.
I think it's like the videos are all on a page, I think that's called 86 Hands.
Okay.
But I think it's like 86.
Oh,
hands.
cut off the hands?
Yeah, so it's like because the guy doesn't have hands. But what he does is he makes these videos where he eats food. And he gets fast food and he unpackages it, but he's got like a finger that comes off of where a hand would be, and he just uses that and he taps the food, and it's so it must be like ASMR to some people, like it's just so.
As someone who frequents the ASMR community, I'm not vibing with what you're throwing down right now.
Like I just watched one where he puts like his hash brown. He's look at this crispy hash brown, and then he goes.
I have a huge issue watching videos of. I don't know why this is a thing, but there's like this whole genre of videos of people watching people eat, and I just don't get it.
I do not like to listen to people eat, and I don't like to watch this guy eat. It's just like this obsession that he has with like tapping everything, like and it's like, oh, look at this soda,
sticks in his mouth,
and then he drinks the soda, and then he's like, oh, look at this hamburger.
Does he have? Is it like a tick?
I don't know. I'm gonna send you the video. I still have to send you the.
No.
Isn't there one?
No.
Isn't there one
Please
I have
no.
to send you the oh look a strawberry thing? Didn't we talk about that on a podcast? Oh, look, a strawberry.
I haven't still seen that. No.
I got to send that to you.
Send that and your tapper to me.
That one is not, I don't know. That's not kind. It's not a kind one.
Oh, it's
I'll send it to you.
Oh.
It's kind of like that Judy thing where it gets
from SNL?
Yeah, or it's Donnies or Doonies.
Did you watch SNL this past weekend?
I watched what I could until I passed out. It was so boring.
Oh, I didn't. But I saw all the headlines when I came in this morning. I was going through
the guy walked off stage.
About the musician walked off the stage and then posted a picture of his private jet and said, can't wait to get back to God's country.
Yeah.
In your private jet?
Right.
This is what people talk about. It's not a left and right thing. It's a have and have not thing. And the people who have are so oblivious to common sense and decency. Eat the rich. Hashtag.
I'm going to say as somebody who, I've been arrested for similar things that this gentleman has been arrested for. And I can just tell you that when you're in that state and that's happening, you're kind of a douchebag. And so, I was for sure. And so, and I can just say, I feel like he is. And I'm just kind of like that whole like, it's not even it's not a left, it's a have not thing, but it's also this like impression that New York City is full of heathens and debauchery and terrible people, and get me back to God's country. I could go off about it for a second, but I won't.
Go on.
Well, if you're one who believes in if you're one who believes in it, I guess the whole fucking world is God's country, isn't it? So get off your high horse and your private jet and shut up. That's all I have to say to him. But anyway.
Cool. You got snaps.
I know. And back to the comedy. So anyway, that's 114. I really wanted it to be good, SNL. It just wasn't. I just didn't like it. It's got your favorite actress in it.
Jesus, you and Joey, the same fucking people. He goes, your favorite person's on SNL tonight. When we were on the boat on Saturday, because we both had to have the internet package. And he told me, I was like, oh, Mikey Madison. Good for her. Stole my girl's Oscar.
I hate it when people come up to me and are like, oh, your favorite person's here, or your favorite person's on this, or your favorite. Like, are you telling me that my favorite person is actually here, or are you telling me that somebody I hate? I don't know.
Usually you can tell by the tone. If they're good at sarcasm, you can tell by the tone.
That's true.
Fantastic.
So, Jeremy, I've been waiting all day. In fact, I heard you talking about it earlier, and I shut my door so I didn't have to hear it twice. Not have to, but I want to be surprised by what you have to say.
Sure.
And I want it to be a fluid, natural conversation with
Absolutely.
witty comeback. So, how was your first cruise?
My first cruise. Now, I do want to preface this by saying I won't give away everything, because we do have a travel issue coming up of Watermark where I'm going to do a piece entitled "My First Cruise," and I want people to pick up the issue. So I'll give you some teases, but you're going to get the real juicy stuff, the family drama in the print.
Well, before you get into it, though, was there anything else of your week that you want to talk about, or are you going to focus on?
No, I mean, we basically Tuesday and Wednesday was getting stuff ready, and then we left Thursday morning. It was just a 3-night cruise, and then got through everything Sunday, came home. Everybody got their stuff together and took off, took people to the airport, and then I basically slept until I had to come to work this morning. Except I did have to take someone to the airport at 4:30 this morning, which was not fun.
No. It doesn't matter if you've been on vacation or not. That is never fun.
No. And I was thinking Monday, 4:30 in the morning, not going to be busy. Everybody probably who was traveling left on Sunday or, is finally where they're... No.
It was busy?
Madhouse.
At the airport?
Madhouse
Well,
at the airport.
that changes my plans for the morning.
It was chaotic. And I had to pull out a little bit of aggressive driving. People were I know it's early. People are just waking up. But, make sure you've had some coffee or wake up before you get behind that wheel. Because there were some dumb people driving at the airport today. And
Were they driving like they were 114?
Half of them were driving like they were 114, and half of them were driving 114 miles an hour.
Oh,
and I had to maneuver between the two of them. But I'm just a damn good defensive driver. So I got her there safely.
There you go.
She's alive as far as I got her there alive. I haven't heard about the plane landing yet. She was supposed to text. Oh, wait, I have a text. Ooh, let's get an update live. Jeremy, we are processing a medication for you. Nope, that's not her.
Not her. Unless she's also your pharmacist.
Well, she does love me. No, she had a layover in Dallas.
She got a lot of pills.
So she wasn't getting back until later this afternoon. But last time I heard from her, everything is going good. So that was it. It was mostly just prep and recovery. Giggity. But the cruise itself, I will say the cruise was better than I thought it would be. And I had a great time. It was a really good trip. Had a lot of fun. But I did not leave this. And I feel like some of the people I talked to thought that once you do your first cruise, that's all you're going to want to do. It is not my ideal vacation, but I can see why people enjoy it. It's an all-inclusive thing. You're on the boat there. One of the things I really like about vacationing is going to a destination and then exploring the area. And that's a little harder to do when you're on a boat because you can't jump over the side.
Unless you specifically pick an excursion,
a destination
that explores.
Yeah. And we went to the Bahamas, which was great. It was lovely to walk around. And Ocean Cay, which is their private island. Which, if you're a beach person, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. They got a lighthouse out there, a bunch of little bars, little shops, and everybody just hangs out at the water. Beautiful water. Crystal blue. Gorgeous. I hate beaches. I hate oceans. I'm not a swimmer. I burn. I sat out on the beach with the family for maybe about 20 minutes with, and I don't mean this offensively if this is your religion, but I look like I was in a full-on burqa because I had wrapped towels around every bit of exposed skin I had.
Or did you look like Dr. Moreau? The island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, no, I had
I
head
looked like
covered.
that before.
I had it was covered. I had the veil on, everything. I was full on covered because the sun is my enemy. So about 20 minutes in that, I said, it's getting too hot under this. I'm going to go find a bar and I'm going to park my ass there and I'm going to drink. You all beach it up and then come and get me when you're done. So I sat at a little cabana when we were at Ocean Cay. And I had a bunch of Moscow mules, and I chatted with the people, and it was lovely. And then Joey, who's not a beach person either, he came up not long after that, and he says, I'm going back to the boat if you want to go back to the boat. We went back to the boat and spent the rest of that part while they were at Ocean Cay in the spa.
Yeah. So I will say this about beaches. I hate them too. But I go to all these cruises that have beach destinations because what I do like is to be in a pool on a beach, but not on the beach. Because I hate the salt water and I hate the sand, but I like the pool with a cabana that you can get out of the sun.
Yeah, I don't even care about pools. I'm not a pool guy either.
Oh, that's true.
I don't need the water. I don't need the beach.
Well, then you can stay on the boat. There's plenty of activities.
Which is me and Joey ended up doing.
Let me ask 2 questions because I'm dying to know.
Yeah.
How did you do at Friends Trivia?
We totally didn't make it. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about is just the overwhelming amount of things there are to do that you lose track of what time things are.
Does MSC not have an app?
They do,
where you can pick things and your schedule tells you?
I'm not a schedule person. My brother, Charlie, put this whole thing together. My older brother, and he's the scheduler kind. So he's like, oh, I want to do this, and I've got this. And we're like, we have the app, but, it was like, well, we're just going to wander around, and if we find something we want to do, we'll do it. But there was it's a very large boat with lots of people, which was my least favorite thing about it, is the amount of people on that boat.
How was the pizza?
Pizza was good. The food overall was really good. And the people who work on a cruise ship could not be nicer people. One of the mornings we had gone up there for the breakfast buffet, and I was in the mood for like a sugary cereal, and all they had up there were cornflakes and Honey Nut Cheerios. And one of the ladies just walked up and she goes, "Can I help you find something?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just looking to see if there was like sugary cereal options." And she says, "Like?" And I was like, "Fruit Loops." And that woman went on a mission to find Fruit Loops on that boat. She had pulled a team together and dispersed them out to look in all the cupboards and everything. And I was like, "Listen, no, it's not. No. We'll find you Fruit Loops." And
did you have Fruit Loops for lunch?
No, I got so uncomfortable by how much effort she had put in to find these Fruit Loops that when she turned around, I walked away.
Aw.
I was just like, it's too much. She had gotten like 13 people to tear their kitchen apart to find Fruit Loops, and I was like, it's too much for me. So I just walked away.
They're really good at customer service on things like that for the most part.
So when we first get there, so my brother had ordered these Hawaiian shirts. They had flamingos and palm trees and my mother's face on them.
Is this Joey?
Charlie, my older brother.
Charlie, you did good, man.
And
you did good.
We all wore them there. And honestly, I thought, and if he's listening, I apologize. At first, I thought this is the stupidest thing. We're all wearing the same stupid shirts with our mother's face on it. We were like celebrities checking in. Like everyone stopped and was like, "Oh my God," and taking pictures of our shirts. I felt like we were rock stars. And then they bring us on and we go to our room. And the room is at the very front of the boat. So when you go out on the balcony, we look out the front of the boat.
That's pretty cool.
And the only thing between us and what I call the Rose I'm Flying portion of the boat was the deck for employees. Like the little deck in the front is where employees take their breaks. So we'll be on our balcony, and then like if they're on the break, they'll be like lounging out there. And there's some hot people on the boat. And they're just chilling out there. And they have like their own jacuzzi and everything up on the front of the boat.
Did you ask for a bowl of Fruit Loops and binoculars at that point?
Well, Charlie brought binoculars because he's like, "Oh, you're going to want to look at the ocean." So I had binoculars. But what was funny is if you stood up on a chair, because it had like this glass, these like partition window things. So you didn't like
probably to stop you from jumping. Yeah.
So if you stood on a chair, you could lean on it. And you literally, it was like you were the front of the boat. Every morning I would go out there with my coffee and I felt like the captain of the boat. So when you're flipping through the channels, there's a channel where there's a camera affixed to where the captain sits that shows the front of the boat so you can watch it. And if you stood on a chair, you could see on the camera. So I would get up there and I would do monkey arms and I would scream to the camera. And then they would watch it from the TV. So everyone who was watching that channel on the boat could see me flailing about on my balcony.
And then they would see you walking around and like, "Oh, there's that guy."
Oh, it's that guy. Yeah. But it was a lot. I loved the room. I did not
mind. Did you take a bath?
I didn't. We had a full-size bath, but I did not utilize the bath. But it was the room because everybody's like, it's a cruise, so the rooms are a little smaller. The room was massive. There was a king size bed, which they could separate into like two full size beds. Then they had a pull out sofa, and that was in the bedroom. And then they had a sofa in the living room area that turned into bunk beds. You ever seen the Lego movie? Mm-mm. It looks exactly like the double decker sofa. So you take off the cushions and you pull the handle up, and a bunk bed just rises up out of the damn sofa. So, we had a butler. Like, he was set for our hallway, and his name was David. And if he's listening, shout out to David. He was delightful. And he was like, anything you need, you let me know. And he would come in, and he set up the beds and everything, and he'd come and turn everything down. And when I was leaving, he stopped me, and he said, my brother says he was doing this for a tip, but I think he really liked us. And he says, I'm not kidding. You are the best family I have ever butlered for. And I was like, do you want to come home with me?
First cruise?
My first cruise,
no,
yes.
His.
Oh.
We were the last cruise I was on. We were the end of this girl's tour, and so we were the last family that she had.
Oh, nice.
And she cried at the end and said, "Thanks for making my last cruise so special."
Aw, yeah. According to my brother, she just wanted a good tip.
100%.
No, she might have been sincere.
I don't know. Well,
all right.
She did do things that were crazy. Like she would find out things that when we would go on shore, she would go out in the thing and she would buy things for my niece that she thought she might like. And so when we go to dinner, she would be like, I thought you would like this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Mine was sort of the same way. He was like, you are very lovely. I come to the room with you. No, just kidding. I did not sleep with my butler.
He just has an OnlyFans. He wanted to do it in front of the camera so he can get some content.
He's like, I use your balcony, please. I was like, come on, David. So that was the first day. The shirts were the first day, and everybody loved it. And then I was like, all right, that's the last themed outfits we're doing. Everybody wear whatever you want now. Boat wise though, I did great. The only day, the second day was the water was really choppy and there was like a storm that came in. So it was very windy. When we were in the casino, it was like everybody was drunk. It was just like the boat was swaying and I got a little nauseous. Now my sister, I was going to write the name down. They weren't prescribed patches, but they're patches you can buy on your own. And they got, excuse me. They had ginger and something else on them.
Ginger minge?
No, not the drag
not
queen.
Pictures.
No,
oh, no.
Just the seasoning of ginger. But I guess ginger, and there was something else on them that helped, the smell of them help with seasickness. So you put them on the back of the ear, and we did that as soon as we got on the boat. And I was like, oh, I wasn't seasick at all. And then they fell off. They last 1 to 3 days, but they fell off because I guess I'm just rough on my ears.
It was all the monkey arms.
And I started feeling nauseous, and I was like, oh, here comes the nausea. And my sister was like, oh, are the stickers not working? I said, no. And I grabbed my earlobes, and they had fallen off. And as soon as she gave me a new pair to put on, nausea went away.
Oh, that's good.
So I don't know if it was just a placebo effect or if they actually work. But yeah, she got them on Amazon.
I think they work.
They've got ginger on them and something else. But yeah, grab those if you're going on a boat. I realized...
Your ear things are making me hungry.
I want Indian food now. I realized that I am a boat person. I am not a person. I loved the boat. I didn't love 5,000 people on my boat. And because we had talked and I've talked to a couple people and they're like, oh, it's like a resort on the water. And I was thinking about it and I've realized it is not a resort on the water. It is a theme park on the water. And it's the kind of people go to theme parks. It's families and it's kids and, it's like, oh, look at, and it's New York themed. We were on the MSC Seashore and it's New York themed. It's got a Statue of Liberty and a Times Square in there and a Central, all the restaurants are named after things in New York. And so it's very theme parky and just the families everywhere and the kids. And it was over spring break. When we were on Ocean Cay, when me and my sister went up to get our first drinks, there was a couple of kids up there. They said they were over 21, but the guy because you have your little card to scan your drinks. And the manager, whoever was running that little bungalow there was like, no, this is the last alcoholic drink. And he's like, why? Why am I being cut off? And he's like, you're the fourth person to come up with that card to get alcohol. And he goes, you're cut off. So, and I looked around and there was, I don't know, 30, 40 college kids all huddled around these lawn chairs, these beach chairs, drinking their drinks and dancing their little college bodies off. And then just trying to hit up the guy for alcohol. And I was like, come on.
Yeah, see, this is like why when I go on, this is why I pick the cruise line that I pick. Is like I'm away from all of that. I don't have that experience. Like there's no way I'm gonna hang out at the general pool on a cruise ship anywhere ever. So, but in like with Royal, there's like the solarium, which is 21 and up. And so that's cool. And I hang out there, and that's usually like the older crowd of cruisers, and not like the party is on the main pool. And this is and I really like that.
And they had adults only areas. They have the infinity pool in the back, which is adults only. And then up top, they have the adults only. The package we got was the Aurora package. So like we got certain things. We got unlimited spa usage. It came with a drink package, and then we also got to pick. We could go eat whenever we wanted. We didn't have to schedule a time. Joey and his girlfriend went on this same cruise in January, but he got the poor version without the Aurora package, and they were like, "This is the time you will eat. These are the people you will eat with. Go to your restaurant." With us, we walked up and they're like, oh, right this way. We had our designated table for each dinner. The same table for each dinner. And as soon as we walked up, we didn't have to wait in line. They took us right to our table. So I highly recommend if you're going to cruise, do whatever cruise line you're on, do the upgrade package.
Well, on Royal, you don't have to pay extra for that. You can either pick a time or you can pick anytime dining, which means you can go anytime. And you just that day make a reservation or whatever, just walk up and you have your designated table. And if it's just, a couple of you have your own table. If it's a big group of you get your own table, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But it's really, it's cool. I think maybe the timing of it made it more college-y. And also I think it's I don't know. I'll just say like, Royal has Carnival has a bad rap.
Yes.
Because a lot of people have been getting arrested lately, all that kind of stuff. So if you go on that cruise, you're going to get that kind of experience. Yeah. And if you go on this cruise line, you're going to get this kind of experience. So like, I think you might really enjoy like a celebrity cruise or Virgin cruise.
Yeah. And my brother, both of them, I've been on tons of cruises. This was my first cruise, but they'd all been on cruises, and they've been on various cruise ships, and they were saying the same thing. There's different experiences with different boats. And yeah, the consensus was Jeremy should probably take a Virgin cruise, or take a gay cruise, because they don't let children on the gay cruises. But that's like super party.
I don't think you would like that.
No, it's a little
If you don't want the crowd, you don't want that.
Yeah, the way that, because I know they do that one, that a lot of people locally who go
Atlantis.
And it just looks like gay days on the seas, and I'm not looking for that.
No. What else was I going to say about them? I don't know. I was going to say something about a cruise, but it'll come to me later.
But
that sounds exciting. It's fun.
Yeah, so my favorite things, the spa, which was set up like a Roman bathhouse or a modern bathhouse if you go to those, if you frequent those kind of things. But it was like this big, like a Turkish or Roman jacuzzi, massive indoors. And then it had like 5 saunas, a salt room, citrus and mint showers, a snow room where you can go in and just build a snowman or just shock like an indoor snowstorm.
Did you want to build a snowman?
I went in there. I wanted to build a snowman. I got the itch to build a snowman. No Elsa around to help me build that.
I mean, you're going around beaches, and it's a good thing you're on that cruise ship when you get the itch and you're in the Bahamas. There ain't many options.
I am definitely a winter person and not a summer person, so the snow room was.
You should go to an Alaska, like a celebrity Alaskan cruise.
I really would like to do and go like whale watching and stuff. I think that would be cool.
I just look in the mirror.
What else? Oh, the show. Okay. What?
I thought I'd just look in the mirror. Just kidding.
Oh.
I will say, we've been looking at playing with clips and stuff from this podcast, and I found a folder of like videos that we made like a year ago. And I saw myself in there. I was like, God, damn, I was bigger.
All right, so I do want to give a mention to the shows. So I was told by, again, frequent cruisers, the longer the cruise, the bigger the productions are. So this was just a 3-night cruise. So the group, and I just want to preface, they are all, they're amazing singers. Some of the dancers in there were blowing my mind. However, me and my sister Tabby referred to them as the Ship Glee Club because everything is set up like an episode of Glee Club. And the first night was the Divas episode, and they all sang diva songs. And if you're listening, if you're the drunk gays in the audience during the Diva show, we heard you. We recognized you because one of the girls sang "I Will Always Love You." She did a little Whitney Houston medley. And when she paused before the big note, they shouted out the words. We're pretty sure she knew the lyrics, so you didn't have to do that if you're listening. Maybe don't do that again in the future. Second night,
man, even on a boat, audiences
even
suck.
on a boat, and this lady behind me during the Diva show chatting up her little gay. It was like a Will and Grace, and she was like, "Oh my God, look at that one! Oh my God, look at that one!" It's like, shut up and watch the show, lady.
Did you go to the gay meetups?
No, I missed all those too.
Look, I agree with you. I am Dylan and I are both like, let's get to a destination. We don't want to plan. We want to walk around. Jen is such the opposite. She's like, you've got to do this. When it comes to cruises, though, she's right. You got to spend an hour and just going through and saying, these are the things that I want to do, and then make sure you hit those things. Because after a day of walking, but with 3 days, it's different.
Yeah.
But we were on that week-long cruise, and so you definitely want to.
Yeah, if I was on a week-long cruise, I probably would have planned better. But 3 days, and it was family, so I wasn't looking to break away from the family. Unlike my brother, Joey, who got on the boat and told all of us, this is an 80-20 split. You get 80% of my time, 20% of every day I'm spending by myself. I'm
a great mate. I feel like I'm Joey. Joey and I agree on everything.
Joey are very good. Yes.
And your brother Charlie sounds like you're Jen.
Oh yeah, he's very much the Jen.
So that's great. But I'm like, when we plan these things and I invite family, and there was 11 of us going. I was like, I just want you all to know this is my plan for us. Do whatever you want. We'll all have dinner every night together. And so we'll talk about how great our days were, and I'll let you know what I'm up to in case you want to join and that kind of thing. But we're not going to all meet up at 7 a.m. and make sure everybody's taken care of.
See, and my mother, because it was, the cruise was basically just to celebrate. She had a rough year last year with the surgery and everything. So this was kind of just to celebrate her and an early birthday present. So it was just her and her 4 kids. So my mom went in with the mindset of, we're going to do everything together. And Joey's like, no.
In this case, I can understand that expectation. I do have a question for you, though. When her birthday comes up, what are you going to get her?
Oh, no, it's done. We celebrated.
Get her a picture from the cruise.
I'll get her a picture of the cruise.
Yeah.
But the second night entertainment was MSC talent show. So it was sort of like America's Got Talent. So the singers and dancers came out, but then they had a contortionist and a magician. And then they had a Ukrainian couple who does the swings from the ceiling thing with the straps. Oh, yeah. The abs on this gentleman. Good God. I could not. Everybody was asking, what was your favorite part of the cruise? I was like, that man's abs. They were, just on his abs made me want to go fight for Ukraine. That's how beautiful this man was.
But then they probably put you in jail afterwards for being gay.
No, Ukraine's gay friendly, yeah?
I don't think so.
Oh,
do you remember the story about the Ukrainian guy who came to America and the family of the guy he was dating killed him?
Vaguely.
All right.
I'll look into it.
I could be making it up. Maybe they are. You tell me. Ukraine.
Reach out,
balls
Ukraine.
in your court. Ukraine, message me. Let me know.
As you're defending your freedom, listening to our podcast. Do you think they listen to our podcast while they're on the front line?
I think it's what gets them through.
Oh, I think so too.
I'm going to go look it up in the stats afterwards to see if anybody does.
Third night was a throwback rock concert. So it was 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now, there was this one singer who was really attractive. He kind of looked like Ryan Gosling. And my mom she's like, he looks just like Ryan Gosling. So after the third night show,
maybe it was him.
they all come to the end of the stage, and then you can go and meet all the performers. And we made my mom get up and take a photo with him, and she was so embarrassed, and it was funny.
That's awesome. She had a good time. You get some good pictures.
She had a beautiful time. We all took a shit ton of pictures. My sister decided after everybody had left, and it was just me and her at the house yesterday, after the cruise, she decided to text every picture she took to our family chat. And that went on for about an hour.
Oh, wow.
Just ding,
did you get
ding,
any? Did
ding.
you buy any of like the?
They did. I'm not. Me and Joey. My mom kept trying to encourage us to. Me and Joey are not picture people. Like we don't buy pictures and like do albums and hang on the wall and all that stuff. But the other three, they got. We did a series of photos when we first got on the boat in the mom t-shirt or in the mom button-up shirts. So they bought a collection of photos, and it came with MSC frames and stuff, and so they had a good time. The only thing that I bought. In Jamaica, I had forgot my sunglasses, so I bought some sunglasses from this really nice Jamaican lady. And then, I got the little thing you spin. It's the little drum with the little beat things.
Yeah?
And it's got Batman on it. So cute.
I just watched The Karate Kid Part 2 last night.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
And then Tabby bought me a penis keychain. That's a penis carved from a piece of wood. And it's really pretty. It has like designs on it, but she thought I would like that, and I did.
She bought you a pretty penis.
She bought me a pretty penis. And then the only thing I got at duty free was duty free. Is the liquor was dirt cheap, so I got a bottle of it's vanilla cream liqueur on one side, and chocolate coffee liqueur. And then it has a single spout, so when you pour it, the two liquors mix into each other and make a creamy little coffee drink. Huh. And it is the most amazing, delicious thing I've ever drank in my life.
Sounds lovely.
What else? I wrote little notes down here. Things I did not do that I wish I did. And if I go back and cruise, I'll make sure I do this. They had a cabaret club where they did legit cabaret shows. I didn't get out there at any of the days. They had sports bars where they did a lot of different like singles meetups, but they did the LGBTQ meetups I didn't get to. They have a stand-up lounge where they do stand-up comedians. The comedians are all late. They're like 11:30 at night. And I'm an old man now. I didn't make it to 11:30 one night.
I have found that the humor of cruise ship late night comedians is not for me. There's
really?
a lot of transphobic jokes, a lot of gay jokes, and stuff like that. It's just really odd.
Are you exclusive Royal Caribbean, or do you try other cruise lines?
I've been on. I like to dabble.
All right.
We're not exclusive. No, I've been on a Celebrity,
okay.
And Celebrity is the same company as Royal. It's just different.
Oh, okay.
And I've been on Carnival Cruises, which is not for me.
MSC. I don't know where the other cruises are from. MSC, I guess, is based out of Italy. Yeah. And they the show had several trans performers and LGBTQ performers. They really pushed the LGBTQ meetups. They kept, everywhere you went, it was like, hey, there's queer meetups, and
groomers
gathering them all up in one spot, I guess, to throw them off the boat. So I'm curious if because they have a European sensibility, if it'd be a little more.
I'm going to go on an MSC cruise now, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'm going to compare it, so I'm going to try it.
Again, my first cruise, so I have nothing to compare it to, but I was really impressed with the boat and the people on the boat, or the workers.
Right. Other people are disgusting.
People who cruise suck.
Yeah.
And I have decided that if I ever hit the lottery, like Mega Millions, I'm buying a yacht. Because I realize I am a boat person. I am just not a people person.
Yeah. I don't, there's no nice way to say this, so I'm just going to say it, right? You find yourself in a price category, and you go somewhere in that price point.
Yeah.
You're going, if it's let's say if it's a bargain cruise, you're going to be with the people who can afford a bargain cruise.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Right. So it's like I say, I'm not going to say this. Let's just say there are certain theme parks in the Central Florida, Tampa Bay area that if you go to
if
that,
you know.
If you know, you go to that theme park, it's a lot cheaper than going to Disney, but you're going to get what you pay for. So anyway, I'm
Do you
interested
mean
to try.
Gatorland?
No.
I love Gatorland.
No, Gatorland's awesome, and they're supporters of ours, and that's very important.
Only other thing I want. Oh, shout out to Tony, who was our waiter.
Hey, Tony.
And I told Tony about the podcast, so hopefully he will listen.
Caitlin goes, hey. Thanks for listening, Tony.
And they did, each night was a themed dinner. The first one was like American elegance, and I had the most delicious prime rib. Prime rib? Prime roast. Prime rib.
Prime rib.
Prime rib.
Yeah.
Why does that, you know when you say a word and you've said it your whole life and then you say it once and one time and you're like, why doesn't that sound right? Prime rib didn't sound right in my mouth.
Because at first you were putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Good. It felt good in my mouth. That was some good
It usually
prime rib.
does.
Second night was Caribbean style. I had the jerk chicken.
You ate some
so
jerk.
Good. And then Italian, because it's an Italian cruise, Italian dinner the third night. And we took a bunch of pictures with Tony, our server. And it was like, it's just a lot of fun. And I will recommend, because we all went and we stayed in one cabin, if you're going with family members, maybe each person get their own cabin, because sometimes you just need your personal time to decompress.
100%. I could never sleep in a room with that many people.
I was, and my older brother, he also, sorry, Charlie, I don't mean to give you a shout out, but he also uses CPAP. We have a family history of sleep apnea. So we're both on CPAP machines.
Sorry, HIPAA rules don't apply here.
And he has to have white noise. So he has an app on his phone that makes fan noises. Because when him and his wife are at home, they have like 3 fans on in the room, and the humming helps him to sleep. So he has an app that made the fan noise, and it was so loud and obnoxious, but he couldn't get to sleep without it. So he was in the bunk beds in the living room. So we closed the door, and it was so loud, it sounded like rushing water through pipes in the walls.
I would so need that to fall asleep too. I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
I listen to green noise. If somebody's snoring in a room I'm in, I listen to green noise.
Yeah. But luckily, I can fall asleep anywhere and to anything. So they were like chatting and had the lights on, and I still would fall asleep. So
Whew.
I can sleep anywhere.
I do need the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the size of the room. And we didn't do a lot of TV watching, but they had a pretty decent. They had like 20 channels.
I always find a way to watch TV, even on a cruise.
They had CNN and Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and TMC or Turner Classic Movies. Yeah. But really all around, I'm happy that I went. Like I said, I don't know if cruising is for me, but I'm sure I'll go on another cruise again.
I think you should. I think you should limit the amount of people you go with, maybe to one other person that you really want to spend time with. Share a room and go, and then pick something that might cost a little more.
Yeah.
And
I was thinking with like if we did a gay, not a gay themed cruise, but a gay in mind cruise.
I think every cruise is gay.
Yeah, that's
tons
what I'm
of gay people on every
Go
cruise.
on a regular cruise, but find the gay stuff to do on the cruise.
And then and like pick a destination that might not be like.
Yeah.
Even if you went, because there are other destinations like when we went to Honduras this last one, and so we went into Honduras and saw sloths and monkeys and things like that. There's zip lining things and walking up a waterfall and all different kinds of things that you can do that have nothing to do with the beach. But when you go to the Bahamas, that's it.
That's all there is. It's the beach, and then all of their private islands. That's all it is. Beach.
Yeah. So if you just pick a destination. Yeah, I think that you would find it's really different.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if I subscribe to the idea that the longer the cruise, the more interesting the shows, because everything that you described is how they did shows on the last cruise I was in, and that was 7 nights. But I've been on cruises that were also 7 nights and 5 nights where they did Hairspray or Cats
Charlie was
or
saying
something
he went
like
on a
that.
7-day cruise where they did Broadway shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it just depends on, where you're going, what's going on. But they're fun. I enjoy them.
But
welcome back. I'm glad that
week. Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah. How was your week? Did you miss me?
Of course I did. I'll tell you when I missed you the most. Thursday night. So I went to the 19th annual Miss Comedy Queen pageant, which I got to tell you, I love this pageant. I think it's great. I think that the people who are involved in it, the co-owners, I believe, are Locke Robertson, April Fresh, and Addison Taylor, and they're hilarious. They're great. They're very appreciative of our involvement in it. We're sponsors of it. Well, yeah, we give them advertising, and they get us in to see the shows. So it's really great. I will say I tried to, like, I've been trying to eat healthy, so I was like, I'm gonna eat before I go, and that way I won't be hungry when I get there. But I got there about 6:30, and I'll just say I got there at 6:30, and they got through round one, and it was like 9:15.
Oh wow!
And there were, as I texted everybody I knew, and I said, nothing to drink but alcohol, no snacks. And I was like,
where was it at?
It was at it was at the Plaza.
Oh, okay.
Which is a great venue. It was a perfect venue for it, and they had plenty of bars, and they had all this stuff set up. But it's just, even like the thing was like, it said like they had water and sodas and snacks on the menu, and I was like, where are these things? And he's like, yeah, they're not here. I don't know why. And he was like, there's a pizza place right over there if you want to. I thought about Ubering food. And seeing if they would let me do it. But, so I'll just say that has nothing to do with the show. But it's like, I'm an alcoholic. So, I mean, there was like literally nothing for me to drink unless I went to a water fountain. I mean, they said they had bottles of water, but I didn't see them anywhere. So with that in mind, I was watching the show. So as I wrote here, I was like, that was the not so funny part. So here's the funny parts, okay. Right? I don't know, when the show started, this has to be a shtick. And if it's a shtick, it's really funny. If it's not, then, then they need a stage manager. No, but it starts and they introduce Addison Taylor, who, like, and Addison Taylor walks out to do this number, but there's no music or anything playing. And Addison's like, hey, start the music. So then the music starts, but then the curtains close. And the whole number is done with Addison Taylor behind the curtain, and you can't see anything. That has to be
on purpose.
It has to be, right? So I thought that was kind of funny and clever. So then...
sort of like the play where everything goes wrong kind of thing?
Yeah. So then that was kind of cute. So then they do the crowning ceremony for last year, because you remember the person who won last year wasn't the person who was crowned, and they didn't find out until the next day.
There was drama.
There was what did I say? A vote tally mishap. So they crowned Vivian Vendetta Sinclair for the first time and made a bunch of jokes about how she would have this amazing reign for 20 minutes. Let's be real, people. She was going to have that reign for 6 hours. So
long night.
Well, and this is all with the knowledge that I'm driving from Orlando to St. Pete when it's all done.
Oh, you were like doing it and then going.
Yeah.
Right.
So then after they did this thing, and it was really sweet, actually. It was really kind of cool to do the crowning, and they just, I love this about them. They're like, look, we know we made a mistake and we're fixing it, but we're not going to run from the idea that we made this mistake.
Yeah.
So very different than than like a Signal chat group that's been going around lately. Mm-hmm. They owned up to it, they fixed it, and they acknowledged all this stuff. So that was cool. So they announced the 36 contestants. You remember if they did this last year, the first thing they did was announce 36 contestants. So what I did is I wrote down the names of my favorite contestants.
Okay.
There's just a few of them. Barbie Koa. So good. Izzy Fierce.
All right.
That's a good one.
I like it.
This one took me a minute. Diana Hull.
Oh, Diana Hull.
This next one, I love this one. Rita Room. And then this one cracks me up. It reminds me of my 20s. Wilma Carstart.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to try to run through this real fast.
Okay.
Then they give out the prelim awards. And so I just want to shout this out because I know that they put a lot of work into this. And so if anybody listening is in any of the areas where these queens live, go and support them and congratulate them. So there's 3 nights of prelims. And then there's the final night that I was at where they do the crowning and all that stuff. So from the prelims, the first 3 nights, here are the winners. For the first group, Toxic Shock. Second group, Joe My Gosh. This is for the comedic talent. Toxic Shock, Joe My Gosh, and Honey Blunt. And then they do, so that's like one round, and the next round is Outrageous Evening Gowns. And out of that, in group 1, Debbie Does Drag won. This is another good name. Group 2, Geneva Convention.
All right.
And good in Group 3, Daphne Rio. Best overall interview went to Coco Momo, and best presentation went to Lori Liu. Then they gave out an award. Are you familiar with Tweakleweed?
Yes.
They gave out an award they called Tweakleweed. Now, Tweeka, if you know Tweeka, passed away with cancer a few years ago, and he was hilarious and a bit of what people would say a mess.
Sure.
A bit of a mess. He used to do this thing all the time, which cracks me up. I remember because we would go to Pulse and he would be there, and he would go up to the stanchions and he would take the clips off the stanchion and he'd clip one to his belt buckle and one to Jen's, and then walk around the bar, make her walk around the bar with him. And he had like this bag of pills always, and he's always like trying to give her pills and stuff. So anyway, so they given away an award in honor of Tweeka, so kind of for the biggest mess of the pageant and that sort of stuff. And that went to another name I like, Medusa. Excellence in prelim, that goes out to the queen that gets the most people to come out and enter the contest in the different cities, and that went to Honey Blunt. Brittany Akoff won an award.
Oh, for what?
She was a promoter for being a good promoter host. I think that's what they call.
Last year she was there because she was a promoter. Yeah.
All right, so here's the top 10, right? So they introduced the 36. Here you go. Here's your top 10. Coco Moco, Geneva Convention, Honey Blunt, Jenny Nuclear, Alice Marie Grip, who I believe is from Tampa. Remember Mr. Grip performed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mr. Grip was at the pageant and performed with Alice Marie Grip as a backup dancer. Debbie Does Drag, Reader Room, Toxic Shop, another name I like, Flapjacks, at Madonna Reed. And then they give it, so that's the top 10, but they also give an award to the 11th place person, which I think is a really cool idea. Is they give an award to the 11th place person, and that person can either skip the prelims and go right to the thing, or skip paying to be in the prelims and that kind of. So good for them. Then after they give those awards, they let the drag queens go get dressed for their talent, and they do an opening number of past winners. So what the opening number was, it's kind of cute. It was a song for Vendetta, since she's leaving. She's not going to be the reigning champion anymore, so she's looking for a job, and this was like jobs that all of the past winners had done, and this one made me laugh and was kind of gross at the same time. Ginger Minge was a sperm bank worker who got fired for drinking on the job. But you know, Vivian's thing was pretty funny too. She was a pageant calculator. And she was dressed as a calculator because they messed up the calculation of her win. And nice. I thought it was hilarious because they kept doing it. All right. So the first round was Ginger Minge and Trixie Deluxe were the MCs for the comedic talent portion. And so all the 10 drag queens came out and did the comedic talent. I just want to say Ginger and Trixie are hilarious.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're too hilarious because it went on forever, but it was super fun. It was really a good time. And because they would do banter in between while they set up for the next thing. But anyway, they are, they're just comedy gold. And here's the real gold of all of it. My favorite thing that I saw after the first round, they had a couple of the previous winners do numbers, and Trixie Deluxe performed I'm Gonna Run to You by Whitney Houston while in a wheelchair and a neck brace and an arm cast, and it was hilarious. And that is exactly what all of that is for. So then the next round was hosted by Daphne Ferrara, who is from Tampa and was the first winner of the very first Miss Comedy Queen. And then Catherine Nevitz also did that, and so they all came out and did their thing, and then they whittled down to the top 5. They did interviews, and then they crowned their champion, who was Debbie Does Drag.
Oh, congratulations!
Now her talent thing, I mean, the crowd loved her. I didn't really get everything that her song was about. She sang live, wrote an original song, but it was really about the other drag queens that I'm not really familiar with. It just seemed like a very big inside joke, but the people went nuts for it. So it was great. So that was Miss Comedy Queen. I love being a part of it. Can't wait to go next year. Then that was Thursday, and then I drove to St. Pete to get ready for Tampa Pride, which was on Saturday.
Oh, how was Tampa Pride?
Tampa Pride was good. I mean, it was, it's interesting. I just made this note, like I'm a different kind of Pride person than I was, say, when I first started here, because I want to work the late shift and I want to stay and drink and do all the other stuff. And now I'm like, I want the early shift. And I want to go to the marketplace and do my thing and go. And so it wasn't, it was interesting because it's like, it's one of like the major prides that we do.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be, it seemed that like Polk County Pride was bigger in the sense that we give out, I just judge it by the stuff we give out. We give out more stuff at
Polk Pride.
At Polk Pride. And there's like, seems to be a lot more people, but it was a steady stream.
Yeah.
That went through, and we gave it a decent amount of papers. So it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know how the parade was.
You didn't stay for the parade?
I'm not a parade guy.
Yeah.
I think I wrote here, because I don't drink or do parades, it's hard for me to judge how something is.
It's weird because we stopped participating in the parades 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we used to, we'd set up, we'd do the booth, and then we would have one designated, usually Sam, who would watch the booth, and then we'd all go march in the parade.
Yeah.
And we stopped doing that 2 years ago to focus on handing out the papers, and then also, going out and being able to enjoy the parade instead of having to be a part of it. And I find that I don't go to the parade at all, and it gives you a different dynamic of what Pride is.
Yeah, I don't go to any parades at all ever.
Yeah.
Like it's not anything against anything in particular. I don't go to Disney parades at the parks. I don't go to any parade. When I was in New York, I went to a Pride parade once. I think I sat outside in the heat for like 3 hours, and the parade wasn't even halfway done. I was like, I'm out of here.
The only parade that I'd go to is the Lego parade in my Lego room. Lego, a couple of years ago, put out the Disney parade floats, little mini parade floats train, and that is set up in my little Disney Lego area, and that is the only parade I walk by on a regular basis.
I need a video of you making a Lego parade happen,
and then me
like,
just waving, hi. But it's cute because it starts with Mickey and Minnie. It was for the 100. They did a whole series of Lego sets for the 100th anniversary of Disney, and the parade starts with Mickey and Minnie in their little birthday suits with balloons, and then it's got a Peter Pan and Tinkerbell scene, a Woody from Toy Story, Moana. Was it Moana? Yeah, I think it's Moana. And then there's another movie. I don't remember what it is. But it's like little floats, and then it's all hooked like a little train. And you can ride it around your Lego village. And it's like, oh, there's a Disney parade at Lego time.
Well, I will say this about the parade. I wasn't there, but I will give a shout out to our social media coordinator, Luis. Before he got hired at Watermark, in his capacity as with his nonprofit that he works for in Tampa, he was named as a Grand Marshal.
Yes, congratulations,
so
Luis.
He would probably be able to tell us more about how the parade itself was.
I just want to say, and if he is listening anywhere in this world at this podcast
he's
at the
too
moment,
busy working. He doesn't have time to listen to us.
Congratulations. From my lips to God's ears to your ears.
To God's country.
However that works. I hope he is hearing this somewhere.
Well, since we forced him to be on a
he's
team
listening.
chat with us.
For those who don't know, who aren't looking at our computer screen, we're forcing him to listen to us.
And, Prides are great and so necessary right now. So thanks to Tampa Pride for throwing this event. And it's great to get out there and to catch up with people that you normally just see at Pride events. So it was really good. And there was this your usual cast of characters is out there and people just having a good time. So awesome work. Yeah. Congratulations.
Pride, particularly on the Pride in your city, always reminds me of like the Oscars every year. That like in the community, you're all so busy doing everything. And Pride is that one time a year where you come together and you're going to see everybody in the community.
Yeah. And it still surprises me. I mean, I feel like if you're a person who's going to go to a Pride, that you have a grasp on the gay community.
Yeah.
There must have been at least 10 people during the time I was there that came up and they were like, really? How long have you been in existence? So it always surprises me. But I guess it's good because it just means that we're reaching people who are new to the community and who are coming out, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I say we, like the collective we as a community, we're reaching new people and getting them to come out and experience us. And
I meant we as in the Nintendo gaming console from 10 years ago.
Wii Tennis.
Wii
Did you ever
Tennis.
get Wii Tennis elbow?
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Not elbow. We played Wii Tennis. Wii Bowling was one of our family
you ever,
favorites.
Did you ever forget to put the strap on and go to hit something and it flies at the TV?
My parents, because when that came out, they also had just gotten a brand new flat screen TV. So my dad was like a stickler of you put that strap around your hand before you play anything on this TV. But that was a good time.
Yeah. I did one other thing.
I enjoyed the Wii.
I did one other thing.
Oh, yes. What else did you do?
You know what? A former employee and I went out one time to a bar, and it was closing time, and these two kids showed up, and they were like, I say kids, but I call people kids. And they were like, oh, it's closing? They're like, oh, what are we supposed to do? And I was like, well, we can go to 7-Eleven, and I'll buy a case of beer, and we can go hang out with you guys. And they were like, okay. And they said, you want to put your me on my Wii? And we're like, what? And that's, I guess, what they called their profiles was your me.
The little me's.
And so they
on
wanted
the Wii.
to put they said, you can put your me on my Wii. And I was like, hey, it's that kind of party. And then we got there, and that's all we did was play Wii baseball.
From the moment they said, do you want to put my me on your Wii? You should have said, you're too young. I have to go home and go to bed.
Which would have gotten me out of like 90% of my relationships. Here's one thing I did this weekend
what
that
did you
I
do?
loved. Dylan and I saw this thing on Facebook for a vanilla bean creme brulee cheesecake cupcake. And so I made it, and it was delicious. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So I eat rabbit food so that I can gorge on these things.
I will say, though, one of my... I skipped over this part, but I'll make sure it's a part of the story when you read it in the issue. The Bahamas are known for their rum cakes. We had some rum cakes there that were out of this world. Like, I did not know I needed rum cake in my life. And then after I had had such a good rum cake on the Italian dinner, they did a limoncello cake. You can't partake in this, but I am going to soak every cake I ever buy in liquor now, because they were like both amazing. And generally I don't like liquor mixed in with food, but I was really impressed with those. Like Bahama rum cakes are like out of this world.
For the record, I can eat them. I just have to
cooks off the...
No, I just have to take a white chip at my next meeting.
Oh, true. But they bake it, so it cooks off the alcohol. Would you be able to do it then?
If they bake it out of it, yes. But with desserts, a lot of times
they soak them afterwards?
They soak it afterwards.
Oh,
and so, no, in that case.
Oh, because see, I had
but
mentioned...
I also sometimes I put red wine in my, I don't know what the technical term is for it, because it's like my spaghetti sauce. But I don't know if it's a sauce or a gravy, depending on who you talk to.
Just personally for me, and I think for my family, sauce is meatless, gravy has meat in it.
So it's gravy because I have meat in it, and then I put red wine in it, but then I cook it out.
But it cooks out, yeah.
Yeah, but I did look it up, and you've got to cook it for a long time to cook out the alcohol.
Yeah. You would be able to eat my sauce then, because I do put red wine in, but I slow cook mine in a slow cooker for like 12 hours. So good. Anyway, I just want to give a shout out to the rum cakes.
Shout out rum cakes. All right. Well, it sounds like we had very busy weeks.
Busy week. I still managed to watch something.
We still found time to watch something.
I do want to preface this before we start this. I did watch this yesterday when I got home. Dead to the World. I made notes. I looked back over them today. Some of the notes I don't completely understand. And I vaguely kind of remember watching the show yesterday. I was out of it yesterday.
That's funny.
So... if I say anything incorrect, you will correct me and we will move on. But I think I remember what I watched. But we watched the first 3 episodes of Mid-Century Modern.
Yes.
Which is kind of a queer Golden Girls. With gay men. And that takes place in Palm Springs.
In the sense that elderly-ish... gay men get together to live in the same thing. Yeah. That's about as Golden Girls-y as it is.
Well, each one of them kind of fits into each one of the categories. So you had like the Estelle Getty one. The mom is living...
Linda Lavin.
And you've got the kind of the ditzy one. who's the Bomer. You've got the I Speak My Mind, which is, I have the character names written down here.
Yeah, he's the guy that's
which is the Arthur. And then Bunny, which is Nathan Lane, is kind of the slut.
Yeah.
But they're not exact copies, but they kind of fit into those character types.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this came from this, but do you remember like 7 or 8 years ago, there was a photo going around and it had, who was it?
Leslie Jordan,
George Takei, Bruce Valanche, and Todd Sherry. And they were going to make a gay man's version of Golden Girls.
Yeah, I remember their...
I was trying to find something in there. And what made me think of it is Sherry O'Terry is also in the picture. She was going to be one of the guy's like old lady sidekicks or something. But she pops up in this as in a guest spot. So I was curious. I couldn't find anything. But there was a lot of similarities to the initial talks with that show, which I think was called Silver Foxes. And this show. So I'm wondering if this was started out as that and that became this when Ryan Murphy took it over. Because this is a Ryan Murphy thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I've always wanted there to be this gay version of Golden Girls. So
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I really wish that show would have happened.
Yeah,
with those people in it, because I like all of that, but I like this too, so it's okay.
Now, nothing against, because I didn't watch Parks and Rec, so I don't really know Todd Sherry very well, and I am not a Bruce Valanche fan.
I don't know who Todd Sherry is.
So he was in Parks and Rec. He was the older guy in Parks and Rec.
I don't
Gary,
know.
yes, I think that's it. It's a character.
I don't know who that is.
So ideally, I would have liked to have seen Nathan Lane and Matt Bomer from this show and George Takei and Leslie Jordan from the other show. Merge them. There's your Golden Gals or Golden Gays.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, not him. No.
Yeah, no. I was like
Jerry. That's why.
Oh no, you're looking for Parks and Rec. Todd Sherry from Parks and Rec.
I knew it's that guy.
But that's funny because he popped up. He's right there. That guy.
Oh, he's gay?
Apparently. I didn't know. But he was on the list of the guys from that. But this is Mid-Century Modern. Premiered whole season. First season premiered on Hulu this past Friday. And the premise is you got 4 friends. You know what? In a lot of ways, it's a lot like First Wives Club. Because there was 4 of them. One dies, and it really makes them kind of really prioritize their friendship after that. So you got 4 friends, one of them dies, and they the 3 of them go to the funeral. It's Nathan Lane, who plays Bunny, Matt Bomer, who plays Jerry, and Nathan Lee Graham, who plays Arthur.
And I think people will recognize the 2 names, but the last name, he's an actor. He's been on Broadway.
I was going to say I'm pretty sure not only has he been on Broadway, but we have interviewed him.
We did interview him, and he was on our cover. He played the lead in Hadestown.
Yes,
when it was traveling around.
When I saw him, I was like, that man's been on our cover before.
So shout out to Ryan for doing that interview, who I know when he listens to this is going to be happy.
And shout out to Nathan Lee Graham, who I'm sure listens to us. Thanks for being on our cover.
Yeah, and for being you. I enjoy him.
Also, if you are listening, and this is from my mother, not from me, my mother would like you to introduce me to Nathan Lane. She wants me to marry him. She wants Nathan Lane to be her son-in-law. She is in love with that man.
If I were you, though, I would rather the guy that he sleeps with be my son-in-law or be your partner to be her son-in-law.
I wouldn't hate that idea. But my mother is in love with Nathan Lane, and that man can do no wrong. I had to talk her down from watching Dix the Musical because I was like, Mom, it will tarnish your image of Nathan Lane. Don't do it. It's not for you.
Although he wasn't terrible.
He was great in it, but her watching that movie to get to the Nathan Lane parts will kill my mother. And I can't do that. But everything else with Nathan Lane in it, she loves it.
They did show a photo. They showed a photo of who it is that died, but it was from a
very
distance. You
small
couldn't tell.
photo.
I think it would have been a really nice homage to Leslie Jordan if it had been him.
Particularly if this does link back to that old idea.
Yeah. So this starts off. They're at the funeral of George. right?
Yeah.
Who died. And immediately I thought it was hilarious. Immediately. Because Nathan Lane was trying to like draw some emotion and make people think he was emotionally sad about what's happening. And he tried to cry, and Arthur was
stop trying to cry.
Stop trying to cry. He said, "You look like a reluctant bottom," which cracked me up. And then Nathan Lane follows up with, "Well, I was taught at a young age not to cry in front of people because I learned that in a class I took called PE." Great line.
It's yeah, the show, it's very sitcom-y.
It's like it's a throwback to the quintessential sitcom. Laugh track and all.
Yes, laugh track and all. Which when we watched the Laverne Cox thing, I think would have benefited from a laugh track. I feel like it was a laugh track sitcom. This, some of it lands, some of it doesn't. It's very reminiscent of Will and Grace. Which is not surprising because a lot of the people involved made Will and Grace. And it's very reminiscent of like 80s and 90s sitcom. It's that kind of sitcom-y humor. It's got the laugh track, the live studio audience, all that good jazz. And I thought some of it landed. Some of the jokes were just kind of, to me. But what sells it is Nathan Lane's delivery. He could deliver a shit line and still make it gold. So everything he does and says in this, he's fantastic.
He is the saving grace of the show.
Matt Bomer took some getting used to.
Yeah.
Because he plays the ditzy airhead. And I don't know, maybe it's just he doesn't have the appearance of the ditzy airhead, or maybe he's doing it a little too. He's just gone a little too over the ditzy edge.
I think it's difficult to see him in that role because he's never played a role like this that we've ever seen.
And it's just the first, as the episodes go on, he settles into it and it gets better.
Yeah. He was, I get what you're saying. It was like he was pretending to be ditzy. And it was, rather than
it was a little too much.
Although there is a line that cracks me up in it where Arthur is talking to him and trying to point somebody out. And he's like, don't look now, but check out my 3 o'clock or my 3 o'clock or something like that. And Matt Bomer's like, he goes, why can't I look now? Why do I have to wait until 3? And it was hilarious.
Yeah. He's definitely airhead in it.
Yeah.
So the premise, as we said, is, the friend dies and Nathan Lane wants the two friends to move in with him. His mother already lives with him. But he basically, one of the things that he was concerned about is he doesn't have anyone in his life to delete his search history should he go. And no joke, this is a conversation I have had with Chris about, I don't want my mother or my siblings going through my phone. So Chris knows that if I go before him, that he is to delete everything on my phone and destroy it. And that he can pull whatever photos he wants off there to share with the family, say, oh, look at all the nice things he did. But he gets rid of the phone.
Yeah.
Nobody but Chris is allowed to see the phone after I die.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Chris might sell your photos. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, that's a thing. And having to have done that for people who have either left Watermark abruptly or passed away working here, I've had to go through their thing. And there are some, I've seen some things I wish I didn't.
Yeah.
And so it's important to have. But yeah, I didn't write it down. I wish I had, but there was a very specific search history on the guy who died. Like there was a thing he searched for. It was very specific and it was hilarious. And he's like, yeah, he didn't have anybody to delete that, and I need people like that in my life.
Yeah, so he wants them to move in. It just so happens also that later that night, Nathan Lane, or Bunny, has a date with a really hot Latin guy.
I just wrote down a couple of things that I thought were funny. I'm sorry. So when they're at the funeral and the UPS worker walks by, and Arthur says, he said perhaps he'd like me to demonstrate what Brown can do for him.
Hilarious.
Very well done. Anyway,
so they're in bed together because that's
a guy he meets on Grindr.
Yeah, I thought that was funny because he goes, "I have a date tonight," and then it cuts to them in bed together, and I was like, "Yeah, that tracks.
That tracks.
That's the date." So Nathan Lane is talking, or Bunny is talking to this guy, and he's like, he didn't think that he'd be able to find anybody in his life, and he's surprised that a guy like him would find him attractive. And he goes, why would you, I won't do the accent, but why would you?
Yeah, you'll do a accent.
I'll do an accent, but it won't be that one. And he's like, what is so different about you and I? And he says, for starters, foreskin, which cracked me up. And that one of the things about that, I guess, because it's on streaming, is it's a little more ballsy than a standard sitcom. There's cursing in it.
Yeah,
the
Linda
jokes are
drops the F-bomb.
Yeah, the jokes are a little more edgy. It seems more like a European or like an English sitcom.
Yeah.
Because they appreciate a good dick joke over there, and they will actually say dick. So the mother lives there. I did notice, and this is probably because they're Jewish, there are a lot of Jewish jokes. I didn't write them all down. I'm sure you wrote a couple.
No, I'm going off on tangent here, as I often do. But because you said that they're a little more free with like dick jokes and things like that. Are you caught up on the White Lotus? Through episode 6.
I watched the new episode last night after I watched it.
I haven't watched this. My goodness. Max shows have, like, I think they get paid commission on the amount of penises that they show in there. The Pit, which is...
Oh, I haven't watched The Pit yet either.
Penises in the Pit.
Really?
Penises in the Pit.
Noah Wiley's penis?
No.
Oh.
No. There's a lot because it's just like people, I mean, it's not like sexual penis. It's like a lot of times it's like, well, there's a homeless
sad,
guy.
limp penis.
There's a guy who like pees on an intern doctor.
I don't want to watch a penis
and
pee.
then it's kind of funny because he's peeing on the guy and the guy's screaming, "What do I do? What do I do?" And I'm like, "Well, start by closing your mouth, you idiot." And then there's a mass trauma and they're cutting clothes off people and there's just penises everywhere.
Oh, so it's trauma penis.
But I told you it wasn't sexual.
Did you hear about the whole thing? I don't want to go on a tangent, but I guess the producers of ER were trying to sue the Pit because they thought they were trying to spin off his character.
And it wasn't.
No, you don't get all medical shows ER.
I mean, it's ER was in Chicago. This is in Pittsburgh.
Totally
and his
different
name
cities.
is Dr. Bobby, not Dr. Carter.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
And his girlfriend's name is Jill, not Jan. And he wears a white coat, not a blue coat.
Penis tangent. So I was just shocked.
Yeah.
When in White Lotus, when the dad was talking to his family, and his penis is
dick's just hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
What makes that even worse is I know him from Harry Potter.
Oh,
that's Malfoy's father.
Oh, it is,
and it's also the villain from
the OA.
Oh no,
I thought you were going to say that. He is the villain in the OA.
The Patriot.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Good movie.
We saw the bad guy from the Patriot's penis.
That's got to be a prosthetic.
We saw the Patriot penis.
Got to be a prosthetic.
If not, Mazel Tov.
Yeah, well.
So you saw the...
That's God's country.
Yeah, that's God's country right there.
Anyway, we're back to the show we're supposed to be covering.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I just got a message on my computer. I'm at 8%. All right, perfect.
So you want my...
Oh, yeah, if you could chuck that on over here.
Pardon us while we handle station identification.
We'll do this live. We're doing it live. All right, here we go. All right.
I felt like a T-Rex. Take it.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah, it is. My bad. That was the earphones.
To quote my other favorite line from Drop Dead Gorgeous, "Other side."
All right, back to... Oh, my screen just lit up like it was alive. So I wrote these two jokes down. Again, I was like out of it watching these. So one of them, and I believe it was Arthur who said this, referred to Bunny's one night, or his new boyfriend person, as Latinx rated, which cracked me up. I thought that was hilarious.
He was hot.
He was hot. And then I wrote down, surprise, I'm all in. And I imagine
that's funny. Yeah, because he said Arthur was yelling at Bunny, because Bunny decided that he's in love with this guy and he's invited this guy to move in, so now he doesn't want the other two gays to move in.
Yes.
And Arthur was mad, and he said something about
I'm all in.
you like no he I'm just as surprised that, or like that's about as obvious or awkward as you having to tell this guy I'm all in, meaning like it's so small, or maybe it was making
it was
a
a
dick
penis
joke.
joke. Yes.
So anyway,
So
I'm sure I did
Arthur
that complete
gets upset
justice.
that Bunny tells them that he doesn't want them to move in anymore. Jerry, who's Matt Bomer, just kind of goes with the flow. He's just a ditzy kind of guy. So they pack up and they go and stay at a
gay resort.
A gay resort where they see this Latin guy.
this is where the joke comes in, where he clocks him, and then he tells Arthur tells Bomer
3 o'clock.
He said, "Look over there at 3 o'clock," and he said, "Why do I have to wait until 3?"
So stupid. So they see
stupid.
the
I love
Latinx
it.
lover, and he is taking another gentleman into one of the rooms. It is not love as Bunny had thought it was. So Arthur thinks, "Oh, now we're gonna go back and we're gonna tell him that it's not true love, and we're gonna say." What was it that Jerry was supposed to say to him?
I told you so, Queen.
I told you so, Queen. So
And that whole scene was hilarious too. But he's like, the 5 words, and he's like, "I told you so," and he's like,
that's for
"It's
That's
and then
4
he was
words.
like, "It's I told you so," and he's like, "Wait a minute, that's more," and he's like, "You're not supposed to say the it's." Anyway, good times.
So while they're preparing to go tell Bunny, "I told you so," Bunny speaks to his mother, and he comes to the realization that his big thing is he's never had a great love in his life. The other ones, even though they had lost them, have had great loves in their life. And Bunny never had that, and he thought that this is what this guy was going to be.
Yeah. So his question is, do I choose love? Or no, do I choose this budding romance, or do I choose my friends?
Yeah.
And Linda Lavin, his mother's advice is, you're an adult. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but when in doubt, choose love.
And he realizes that the great loves of his life are his friends.
Yes.
So they come in to tell him, "I told you so, Queen." And he gives them that spiel and says, "I want you to move in with me. You are the great loves of my life." And then Jerry turns to Arthur and says, "I told you so, Queen." Because he was adamant that it was good, that Bunny was good, and they were going to all move in. So that's what they did. They all move in. And that is the end of episode 1. So this is, what was this, 8 episodes, I think?
I think it's I just watched the first 3.
I think it's 8 episodes. So we watched the first 3. And the second episode kind of really just settles into that whole sitcom where each episode seems to have its own freestanding story. In this one, we learn Matt Bomer's character, Jerry, is in love with Donny Osmond.
This is where I identify with his character.
Yeah, because Jerry grew up Mormon.
Yeah. But not that his love for Donny Osmond matches my love of Air Supply.
Yes.
So watching him and like trying to get into the shows and doing stuff, I was like, yeah, that's my Air Supply.
Yeah. So there's a Donny Osmond concert that's coming up at a casino there in Palm Springs. And he wants somebody to go with him when he's going to go get the tickets. And Bunny at first is like, I have no interest in Donny Osmond. I don't want to go. And then when he finds out it's at a casino, he's like excited. He's like, oh, I can gamble on him there. So he decides to go with him. Meanwhile, while they're off at the casino, Sybil, who is Bunny's mother, tells Arthur he needs to get a job. That we learned in the first episode that he was fired from his job as a
fashion writer
for Vogue magazine. He was let go, and she says it's time for you to get a job now. So she sets up an interview with him at a little boutique in Palm Springs, and it is managed by Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah, like the evil Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Yes. And I'm sure this will happen through the whole season, but in the first 3 episodes, there's a lot of guest stars. So I'm sure it continues past the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
But this one has Jesse Tyler Ferguson in it. And it has, I didn't write her name down, but the one from SNL with the teeth.
Oh, right.
She's the one that he dresses.
Amanda something? No, something Bear.
Amanda Bear?
Maybe?
Cynthia Bear.
Something.
Joni Bear. Teddy Bear. But she's the one when she smiles, she's got a lot of teeth. Not in a bad way. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but you have a lot of teeth. But good teeth.
Yeah.
Good, strong teeth. So he goes, and Jesse Tyler Ferguson is just an asshole to him. Bunny...
Amanda Bear. Vanessa Bear.
Vanessa Bear.
Vanessa Bear.
She plays this rich lady who Jesse Tyler Ferguson dresses in all these hideous clothes, but he works on commission, so they're expensive, hideous clothes. She has no friend, so basically she just goes there to be to get dressed with him, so she has a friend to talk to. So while he's working there, while Arthur's working there, Bunny loses a bunch of money at the blackjack table. That because of a miscommunication. Bunny says that he tapped. I don't play blackjack, so I don't know the rules, but apparently you're supposed to tap to hit.
Well, he's
or
lying.
Wave and stay.
But Bunny's lying, and he knows he is.
Those the
yeah,
rules?
like you tap to get hit, and
then you wave to stay.
Like
okay.
this.
So that is what he was supposed to wave, or he was supposed to tap, but he waved, and then he says, "No, I gently tapped."
Yeah, because he lost all of his money, so he's just trying to get it back.
So the pit boss comes over. Pit boss is this big biker-looking guy, bald with a mustache, one of those little big that looks like it's going to turn into a goatee, but they stopped right there. And he's like, I'll go look at the tapes. And he goes, it's inconclusive. So he says, I'll tell you what. And I thought this was kind of funny because Nathan Lane makes everything funny. So he's like, I saw you come in with that gentleman, speaking about Jerry, who's trying to get the Donny Osmond tickets. I saw you come in with him. He's very attractive. So I would like to proposition you with this idea. And he lays out the theme of, he goes, I saw this movie once, and it's got Robert Redford, and he propositions the girl from Ghost, Demi Moore. And he's like, Indecent Proposal. He's like, no. And he's describing the plot.
He's like, it's got the guy from Cheers in it.
And Nathan Lane is getting beside himself because he knows it's Indecent Proposal, just as we all do. And I like chaotic Nathan Lane. Cracks me up. So he proposes an Indecent Proposal. You get me an evening with your friend, Matt Bomer, Jerry, and I will give you your money back. So Bunny goes through this whole series of events trying to, get him to hook up with the guy. And Jerry is upset because he misses out on the Osmond tickets. They're all waiting in line, and they're like, oh, we're sold out. And he's upset, and he decides not to take up the proposal. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that to my friend. He's brokenhearted. So he goes, I'm just going to eat the winnings. And that's it. So they go back home, and then Bunny's in the kitchen, and the pit boss walks in, and Jerry had taken him home and slept with him. So Bunny's like, give him my money. You got the man. And he's like, nah. And they go through the whole thing. He's like, you threw off the Indecent Proposal. I got him on my own, so now you don't get your money back.
And he's like, no, I was saying it's smooth.
Yeah, it's smooth. And then so Jerry's like, or the pit boss is like, I'll tell you what. To smooth things over, I'll give you a pair of tickets to the Donny Osmond concert. So Jerry gets to go to his Donny Osmond concert. Bunny doesn't get his money back, but he's rich anyway. He owns bra shops, lingerie shops, so he's fine. But I did think it was funny. The pit boss, as they were going back to the room, and he did the stay and the hit. And he goes, I don't get it. And he goes, oh, you're going to stay and go hit that. I get it. So all worked out well for them.
So that was good. I think we gave you a taste of it. We gave the first two episodes. What do you think of it? What do you think Rotten Tomatoes gave this?
Rotten Tomatoes. How many critics do you have? Did you write down how many critics?
Yeah, I mean like
it?
40 something.
Oh,
like
okay.
I mean no, the critics were like 20 something, and it was 40 something for the audience.
Oh, okay. what is the word I'm looking for? Redactive?
Reductive.
Reductive? Is that the word I'm looking for? It all feels very done before. But like I said, Nathan Lane is the saving grace of this show. He makes it feel fresh. So I'll say critics probably said 82.
And audience?
Audiences, I don't know, I didn't eat this shit up. Everybody will say, oh, why isn't there original stuff? But then you get the same old stuff and like, that was real nice. That hit my sensitive spot. So I'm going to say audiences 89.
I'm going to imagine, let's say, so critics were 90.
Really?
Yeah. And
Okay.
audiences, which I imagine are like older white gay men, gave it a 73.
Oh.
And I was reading through the comments, and a lot of them were, "This isn't the Golden Girls. This isn't the Golden Girls." And to that, I say, you are correct.
It's not the Golden
This
Girls.
is mid-century modern. The other complaint, the complaint most of the time, was the laugh track. People hated it. They said it was way
Really?
too overdone and it was bad. And then, and some people are like, 1 star. I can't even imagine that anybody would read this crap, and this is a terrible show. I was like, gay bombed. I feel like that's what was happening there. So I feel like it got gay bombed. But I will say I'm right on board with you with Nathan Lane. He's genius in this.
Yeah.
He's so good. Matt Bomer did take some time to get used to, but I did get used to him, and I find it endearing and fun. And, I know a lot of people like him, so it was fun. And Arthur, I thought was great.
Yeah, they're all delightful. And like I said, Matt Bomer takes it to getting used to, but once you do, the chemistry between the three of them is delightful.
Yeah.
What I will say is, because they did the first season, Linda Lavin passed away late last year, so will not be in the second season. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's why people were like, oh, they're going to have to get somebody, like, who's going to replace Linda Lavin?
Yeah,
and I thought they were just saying she needed to get fired. I didn't know she died.
Yeah, I don't know how they'll handle that if and when it does get picked up for a second season, if they'll do an episode where his mother died or if they'll recast her or what they're going to do. But yeah, she passed away on December 29th.
Well, I don't write for this show, but I'm going to give you some advice if you do. You open it, episode 1, scene 1 at a funeral, just like episode 1, scene 1 of season 1. I think that would be a great way to tie it together. And I don't know who they're going to bring in, but I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm going to finish the rest of the season. I'm sure it'll be good. But they had some, like in the third episode, Billy Lord plays Matt Bomer's character, Jerry, plays his estranged daughter.
Yeah.
And she, for those who don't know, she was in American Horror Story and Scream Queens, but she's also the daughter of Carrie Fisher and the granddaughter of Debbie Reynolds.
Do you know who played Bunny's sister?
Yes. I don't remember. She's very familiar. Sherry O'Terry plays because
she was hilarious.
Jerry is a flight attendant, and Sherry O'Terry plays a flight attendant on the flight with him when his estranged daughter is on the flight in the third episode. And I love Sherry O'Terry.
I thoroughly enjoy her.
Penny, is that who is Stephanie?
Yeah, sounds about right. She got a Janine Garofalo vibe to her.
She was Gwen in The English Teacher. Is that show we watched?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, she was that show. She played Gwen? Am I thinking of it? Maybe this isn't the right one.
Nah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'll look it up.
But anyway, I'm going to give it 4 stars, and I'm going to tell you why.
Sure.
Or 4 grapes. It is just this. I love old sitcoms like from the 70s. Like I would watch Three's Company. I do watch a lot of old sitcoms, which makes Jen crazy. And I watch a lot of Golden Girls, and this is right in that whole realm, and it gives that vibe up, and I think it's great. And I think that it's sort of this homage to like gay actors, and I have such an appreciation for that. And I think that it's just sort of what is the word that people like to say? Unapologetically. It's unapologetically about the gay actors, and when they pull in these people like Jesse Tyler Ferguson and things like that, I think it's great. It's necessary. It's exactly why we do this podcast, to talk about these kind of things, and I found it to be overly hilarious. I laughed out loud constantly through the whole thing. I did notice the laugh track at times, and I was kind of like, that's a little annoying. I thought for sure you would pick up on that, but maybe you were really tired.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind a laugh track. I'm perfectly fine with a laugh track. But her name is Pamela Adlon. She was in Louie. Did you used to watch Louie?
No.
Like
Louis C.K.?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Better Things, Lucky Louie, Bob's Burgers. She does voices on Bob's
Oh, really?
Burger.
I watched, but who's she on Bob's Burgers?
I don't know. It just lists the animated shows she's
Oh,
done
good.
voices
Then I don't have
for.
to pretend to know who they are. My husband would know who they are. There hasn't been a new Bob's Burgers since December. When's that going to change?
She was in This Is Us and Parenthood, two shows
She
that
was
I know
in
you
This Is
watch.
Us
Yeah.
and Parenthood, two great shows.
Yeah. Actually, let me pull up her television credits. I'll tell you who she played in them. She was Marlise in Parenthood. Only 2 episodes. She wasn't a regular.
I'm not going to know these.
And what else? What other show did I say she was on?
This Is
she
Us.
did a 4-episode arc. She was Dr. Lee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know Dr. Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite.
She was Sam Fox
Of the
in Better
Doctors.
Things. Have you heard of Better? Have you heard of this? Have you seen this?
No.
That was another show with Louis C.K. in it. Better Things.
Did you-
She apparently is friends with Louis C.K.
Did you grape rate this?
Oh, what are we doing? Up to 5?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give it 3 grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch the rest of the
It's a
season
solid
this
show.
week. It is, and because I watched it with my sister, we were vegging out post cruise. Who is Tom Cruise's lesser known brother?
He's got tattoos on his face though.
Nothing. Oh, I see what you did. But she said the same. She says it's charming in kind of an old-timey sitcom way.
Yeah, I like it. It definitely had like
Comfort food kind of
yeah, like it definitely was a Three's Company vibe to me too.
Yeah. And like I said, my family supports anything Nathan Lane does, so I will watch
He's
this
brilliant in this.
just for him. And I hope he gets an Emmy nomination for it.
I feel like he's
because
as
he is
brilliant
Nathan
in
Lane.
this as Martin Short is brilliant in Only Murders in the Building.
He is definitely the Martin Short of this show.
It's that sort of equal thing. And it's one of the better things I've seen him. Like, he is better. Nathan Lane is better than this than he was in Only Murders in the Building. And I hope he also gets a nomination. I'm sorry,
well, he
Nathan
was more
Lane.
dramatic in Only Murders in the Building.
If you're listening, Nathan Lane, you deserve a nomination, and I'm sorry that you won't win because the Bear will. But maybe
I don't
you'll
think
get...
there's a new season of Bear coming out, so.
Oh, good.
But Only Murders in the Building has a new season coming out, and because like the SAG
I
just
haven't
happened,
watched the last season
and
yet.
Martin Short finally won. He wasn't there though. Remember? Because he had no, he won the SAG.
Oh, okay.
He didn't win the Emmy. He won the SAG. I think Bear did win, but Bear doesn't have a new season coming up, I don't think. So they won't be at the next Emmys.
Oh, it makes me so sad.
Oh, no.
Which would never be on that show because it's a comedy.
Oh no, I hate that show. I'm just kidding. I don't hate that show. I hate the comedy in that show. So that's great. Good times.
Yeah.
Do we have set what we're doing next week?
No, we don't know what we're doing next week, and we got to
Ooh,
figure it
it's a-
out because
it's
I
a
fly out
surprise.
early in the morning. I'm in New York all week,
Oh,
so when
yeah.
we come back on Monday, all I will have to talk about
I'm
is
going to
everything
find
I
you
did
a
in New
short
York.
film to watch.
Or we'll just let me talk about the Broadway shows I see, and then you can talk about something else.
I'll talk about something else. But
we'll
something will be talked about.
There's got to be something. We'll find something.
We'll find something. And until then,
We'll talk about
episode 3.
Yeah.
We'll get through them all eventually. But until then, the cork is back in the bottle.